What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Arizona Cardinals Madden 19 Rebuild franchise. I'm not sure exactly how many more times I'll be able to say that as we are close to wrapping up this series, but we do have another offseason here today. And I'm thinking about when it's time to hand this team off to the simulation and do a long-term sim. That's what I'd like to do this time for you guys. I want to basically control the team until I'm ready to stop, and then do an episode where I sim a bunch of years and show you all the results, the retirements, the legacies for many of the stars that we have gotten pretty attached to over the course of this series. Thank you for being a part of it. This series has been a ton of fun, and finally having a franchise experience like we did with the Browns, going over a decade in and really putting together a bunch of seasons. It shows just how fun franchise mode can be, even when you play it in this manner. So, right now it's still business as usual. I'm going to go through an offseason today, and it should be a really good one. I know last offseason was like the most boring. I almost wanted to put that in the title of the last offseason. Literally most boring offseason of the series. Today should not be that. We have a loaded draft class toward the top, and we have plenty of draft capital to make some moves to get some great talent that'll help this team into the future when I am retired. So why don't we get to work today and start here with the free agents. There are some big name players that I have not re-signed, and I'm not sure I will be. First off, this is quite the deal for backup offensive lineman Devin Haynes. Wow. This deal is selling himself short, I'd say. I'll up the offer a little bit, and he'll stay for 2 years as a backup. That's a good deal. Unfortunately, the regression has been very aggressive for Jason Lemon, and the superstar is now down to a 70 overall. Not the player he once was. I know that we could probably make room for him on the roster, so maybe, just out of sentimental value here. Obviously, Lemon's a big part of the series, a big part of our Super Bowl success, and I'll offer him a 1-year contract, but he's not going to sign it yet. Ultimately, here with Roy Marpet, I want to use our cap space like so. He will not accept that deal, so the franchise tag for $10.8 million will be applied, and we'll keep our highest rated offensive lineman on the team. Gilbert Vaughn, though, I do think he's worth a lot of money. He's a very good player. However, I think that we have the depth now along our defensive line to replace him, and I'm probably going to let him walk here. We do have a little bit of cap space. This right here, this 13, that's if we sign him. So we'd still have some money left over, but I don't think that's the right move to make. This price might be a little steep for Joe Torres. He's a good player, but this is one of those situations where I'll test the open market instead. Deontay Wallace. He actually played out that massive contract I gave him. It wasn't a popular one after year 4. However, Wallace has been a cornerstone of this defense for a long time. He's helped us win a bunch of titles. He's been a starter for many years. But now, I do think that it's time for him to either be a low-paid backup or retire. And I'm going to offer something very small that he will likely say no to, but you never know if they'll actually take it. Wallace will not. I'm also going to test the market here when it comes to Stephen Harding, because I feel like we can find an adequate replacement here on the interior, and he would be regressing this entire contract anyway. Alright, free agency is here, and last season, for the first time, it was actually interesting with some really good talent. This time, there's no one better than Gilbert Vaughn, but there are some intriguing players here in the mid-80s for overall. Vaughn will get a ton of attention and a ton of money in the process. Raymond Garcia is now available. Marquise Morse is also available. Deshaun Watson will not retire. Maybe he'll return to Detroit, where he spent last season. Looks like Harding could be going to Buffalo. And what about us? So I'm going to try something different here. I'd love to bring in Morse to play outside linebacker in the place of Deontay Wallace. I'm just going to make a large 1-year offer and see if we can make something happen. Doesn't always work, but if I make it a very lucrative 1-year deal, then just maybe we can get a deal done here. 1 year, $9 million. I would make that move all the way. Maybe I need to make it at least more points, and I'm fine with that. Oh wow, Quentin Nelson is still in our league too. I didn't even realize that. Well, let's move on to the next stage. Not many offers there. I'm really setting up to make some moves in the draft, hopefully, and not have players signed to contracts that won't get a lot of playing time. And look at that. It worked. Marquise Morris will come to Arizona on a 1-year contract. We get it done. The points mattered this time. I'll look to play him on the outside. Morris is an 87 overall who has speed, good cover skills, really no weaknesses here at all. And now he's joining Ahmad Burns, and those two will be a force. But here's exactly why I have not been aggressive in free agency, and I've been okay letting some players go. There's a chance to make some serious moves here. I think our greatest need is in the secondary, whether it's an impact corner or an impact safety. But we could also use a new interior offensive lineman, which we've done now for a couple drafts, and I'd like to change the trend this year. I don't mind having a mid-round offensive lineman start when the rest of the spots are solidified by veterans. And I think that in the middle of this draft, you could take any of these centers and plug and play. Not really doing much in free agency. I'm ready for the draft, and I wanted to save our cap space in case I end up signing or getting multiple first-round picks and we have to pay them a little bit more. There's definitely going to be some movement here. We have a deep roster, and there's no way we can even fit 7 or 8 rookies on this active roster. So let's just go through our main needs so far. Safety's definitely a big one, and there are some options in the earlier rounds that could fit. Jaron Biddle and Marquise Randall would be good first-round picks to make. Randall doesn't have ideal range, but he's still a great prospect here and a first-round option. There's Jimmy Stark later on if we can't address this early, but he definitely has a lower ceiling. The top 3 is not as good. The combine wasn't amazing, and he's 24 years old. And then for Biddle, he's 21. Combine's solid. I like the talent here for sure. At free safety, it's not quite as clear, but I do think Morris Sharpton would be a solid first-round option. He's an early first-round talent. We don't know his coverage, but I'm done worrying about it when it comes to first-round players. And Sharpton with great size, a good combine, the best speed of these safeties would be a great addition. At corner, the prospects at the top are good. Julian Thomas had a really good combine. This is my first time seeing this. Excellent agility. First in a lot of these combine drills. Good man, solid zone. I would be willing to take him in the first round. He wouldn't be a scheme fit for a little while. His man is better than his zone, but you can always work on that. Brayan Kaler would also be a solid addition. Wow. He didn't have a great combine, but I'm not worried about his strength and that stuff. He has good agility and good top-end speed, so there's nothing to worry about. I'd say out of any of these secondary players now, he'd have to be at the top of the list. Off-ball linebacker is something else I'd like to address, but addressing it with Marquise Morris makes it not as much of a priority, so maybe there's a chance later on in the draft where I can find somebody who has pass coverage or field general. Cooper Conway, maybe. Don't think he'd be starting caliber. But somebody like Lawrence Olson very well could be the right pick in the middle of the draft. The offense might need a little help, and along the offensive line, I'd love to address this sometime in the middle, at center. And maybe there's a playmaker out there worth adding, whether it's a running back or a wide receiver. But I think getting a secondary difference maker is my #1 priority today. And by the way, the plan with Jarvis Salisbury has been to move him inside to defensive tackle, which is basically the position he played last year. He was a rush defensive tackle, so anytime we went nickel, he was playing inside. Now he'll just be doing that at all times. We'll take a look at the recap first, though. Mike Phillips is still available. Jarek Payne, Quentin Nelson, some good talent out there. Marquise Walters. But here are the top signings, as Gilbert Vaughn ends up getting a really nice $40 million contract with the Jets. And then Raymond Garcia will be heading to Cincinnati. He got a nice deal for a year. Tanner Merritt to the Raiders. I'm not sure what that means for Marty Sicko. Watson returns to Detroit. Stephen Harding, nice deal in Buffalo, as they also add Sean Carson, the top receiver on the market. Big money there for Dwight Witzel. Sicko to the Dolphins. All right, everybody, the 2034 NFL Draft has arrived. Again, we select at number 32, and I want to move up. However, I know I can't move up 30 slots. Jordan Kirkendall off the board, number 1 running back. This is awesome. 83 overall. Can't wait to check out his ratings. Morris Sharpton to Philadelphia. Now realize I'm not able to trade up this far. This is what happens if I try. I package a future 1, a current 2 with number 32. We're gonna have to wait a little bit. DeAndre Morgan is off the board. Top receiver, Matt Hogan's up next as we get to the 5th pick, Keon Hopkins. Some high-rated players already. Parker Hughes is next. And Cleveland goes with Henry Babbers. Frank Dennard, Julian Thomas. Ooh, Thomas. Was that who I wanted? Did Green Bay just take who I wanted? Forget now. Brian Kaler. Oh, he had the 4.36 mid-1. That's who I want. Brian Kaler. That would help set up our secondary. Tight end Sean Baker to LA at 80 overall. All right, let's try to trade up. The Chiefs' top need is corner. If we can't make a deal, they could take Kaler, and that would ruin that plan. So I just want to see how far away we are, and I think this is doable. If only I could just throw in like a late 5 or something like that to get this deal done. I might have to put, man, if I put both 2s in here, I'm only getting 1 first-round pick, and then I'm not able to trade really for a while, most likely. So what if I throw in the future 1, maybe? If we can get 2 picks this year, potentially, that would be worth it. If I could get both Brian Kaler and a safety, whether it's Biddle or Randall, I think that would be the dream first round. And the deal is now done. I packaged a 2nd round pick and our next year's 2nd round pick to move up from 32 to 11. That's actually not that bad of a price. I didn't have to give up both 2s this year or my future 1. And now we're on the clock, and we can make a move finally to upgrade this secondary and to give us a player to count on for the future. And it's going to be Brian Kaler, a great cover corner who can press. He's got blazing speed, very agile, and he's 21 years old. And Kaler is a good pick. He does not have high development, but he's an 80 overall and a great addition to our defense. So this might be a risky way to look at it, but I'd have to move up quite a bit to get a safety now. So what I think I might do is wait till 1 is taken and now try trading up. And it was a bit earlier than I had hoped. Oh wow, not even close. I'd have to put together the future 1 here, I think, to make it work. Let's see. If I go future 1 and then one of these 3s, what does it look like? It's not quite there. So what if I throw in the 2 and go aggressive again? I might have to package in a 3, which would leave me with 1, and no deal. So it's not possible yet. I gotta move 2 picks here. Jared Strickland and Jason Goodwin. Wow, a 74 in the first round of this draft. That is a big loss for San Francisco. I still can't get a deal done trying to trade up with Detroit. It might not work, and at least I'm trying here. Jordan McCain is now off the board. Now it's up to LA. They go Charles Graves, so now Miami. Dolphins' top need is strong safety. This is the right time to make the move, if it's even possible. And no, I'm not trading a Mudburns. All right, let's try the future 1 with our 2, and that puts us there. It might work. It just might work. This is not quite there. You know what Bill Belichick would do in this situation? He would trade Aaron Howell to the Dolphins and let us go with the younger options. I don't have it in me to do that, though. I think I'd be okay trading Franklin Bell, though. He's solid, but we could get younger now and have a young safety to build with, although we'd be taking a hit in overall. So it's not the most ideal move to make. And we could do this now without having to sacrifice a bunch of picks. What if I threw in the 4? A 4 plus Franklin Bell? Wow. I can just throw a 7 in here, seeing as how it's going to be the last pick of the draft. And the deal is now done. So just like that, we're on the clock. We still have a second round pick. Who knows what I can still do today? And now I can finally address safety. It took, well, like 15 years, but I have finally traded up, everybody, to get a safety. And it's going to be Jaron Biddle. He's 21 years old, and he's got great cover and tackle skills. And now we have a secondary that's finally getting younger. Biddle's an 80 overall, 8 in true talent, very good run support. 86 speed, 80 zone coverage. Very happy with this. His speed and coverage ratings were already very close to Franklin Bell, so it's basically a lateral move for us that allows us to get significantly younger with more upside. Very happy with how this first round is turning out for us. Ooh, a 71. There's still one move, though, that I thought about making. I haven't seen his combine yet. I need to know about Zach Perez, who was the #1 player I thought in this draft. We're looking for a power back, and he actually has the speed that I look for here. I'd love it to be better than 4.55, but 4.58 is definitely doable. I might not be done trading today, guys. Or maybe I am done trading because this is tough, and that's the 24th pick. I think he's gonna go here sometime soon, and it's not there. And it's not there either. Still on the board. I can't believe he's still available. He might make it out of the round. And he does. A trade's not really gonna work right now, though. They're still not interested at all, and I don't want to give up the future 1 in this case, even if this series is winding down. So if we have to wait to make our pick at our pick, then do we have options? I don't need another safety. That's not a priority. I could possibly go to running back. There's offensive linemen in that range. I don't know. I could take somebody like Curry Sutton if they fall far enough. He doesn't have the cover skills that I look for, though. So I think maybe I'll just see what happens here and trade up if he falls any further. Doesn't go there. Doesn't go there. I got to sim at least a few picks, and there he goes. Zach Perez to Carolina, 79 overall. Would have loved to add him. And the rest of this running back class wasn't that impressive to me. Martin Lodeholt would be okay if he falls further. I wouldn't trade up for him, though. There might be some good receivers, but we're also pretty stacked there. Like, our roster is incredible. We could end the draft now, just give our picks away, and be just fine. There goes Lodeholt to the Rams at 76 overall. So the first round lived up to the hype. I thought there would be a lot of 80 overall talents, a lot of players worthy of trading up for, and we came out of here with exactly what I was looking for. So already the draft is a win, and now I think we're seeing a pretty steep drop-off in the talent. And maybe it's a regular drop-off, but it's a drop-off nonetheless. And now I'm not sure if I'll even want to make our second round pick. Let's just push this to next year then. We'll get the future 2 and then see what is left for us in the 3rd round. And basically now I just want to come away with a good center, and I believe my job here will be done. On the clock now, round 3, pick 29. I saw a couple centers go off the board, but I should still have at least one option here out of the 4th rounders. I liked all 3 of these centers a lot. We have a good run blocker here, Stephen Riley. Then Marcus Lopez, higher run blocking plus pass block power. And then high run block again here for Montel Bell. I think Lopez might be the better option here. 4th in the bench press. Not as good as Riley, but they're very close. Riley's 21, Lopez 23. This one is close, but I'm going to go Lopez here because the run block is already a B. It doesn't need development. And here we go. Lopez, normal development, 75 overall, about what I expected. And I still would like to see how good Riley ends up being. And potentially, I could just draft both and then just play the better one. Instead, I think I'd rather draft Santiago Masonette, who's only 21 years old. He's a finesse rusher here on the interior. We could use the depth. He's got a nice combine here, and he's a good finesse rusher. He's our pick, and he's 72 and overall with star development. Oh yeah, that's a good pick. I know his true talent's a little bit low. Same overall as Curry Jasper. Yet 72 with star development is what we get here on top of what's already been a good draft. He needs some development though. He really needs help to get that run stopping skill a little bit better. And I'm surprised he's even a 69 run stopper with only 68 block shed and 68 play rec. So yes, a very nice bounce back from last year's offseason that really didn't have any excitement from us. This is much better. Cooper Conway's off the board. He was a 70. I'm going to take a tight end here, one with decent speed, Max Weaver from Wisconsin. And he's a 70 overall. It's a slight reach here, but I'm not too worried about that. Just some tight end depth. Now in the 5th round, I'm going to take a receiver who has fallen, Raylus Jimmo, and he ran a 4.37 40 this year, and he's a 71 overall. It's a good value for this spot, and he has 94 speed. Now I've selected Will Kropog, who has quick dev. This is a major reach for a quick dev 60 overall quarterback. I was just taking a chance to see if he was going to be like practice squad caliber. I don't think he is. Maybe in the XFL. Let's go to our last pick then. I'm going to take an undrafted talent here that I actually was interested in, just because if it works out and I can get that 4-year deal, it's a nice win for us. So here's Kazim Bannister from Idaho State, the school that gave us Jared Allen, future Hall of Famer probably. Bannister does have decent tackle, block shed, he's pass coverage type. All I'm asking here is 68 overall. And Bannister is 69 overall. And how about that? I nailed the spot. 192 at 192. 79 speed, 75 zone coverage, perfect backup. I'd say that was a pretty good draft. I was actually able to trade up for a safety. Very excited about that. We add 2 impact day 1 defensive backs, and now there could be potential for a move to be made at corner to make room for Kaler to actually see the field as a rookie. I'm pretty happy with the draft from this year, and now let's take a look at some of the other top talents. Number 1 overall, everybody, very excited about this. Jordan Kirkendall went to the Ravens. He's 21 years old, out of Texas, with great speed, break tackle. He has a variety of moves here and elusiveness. That is a can't-miss running back here atop the draft. And then Morris Sharpton, another safety I liked a lot. He does have quick development, and the zone coverage is just fine, as he's already a great run support safety. I really enjoy drafts like this, and I think that in general, more drafts should have a really top-heavy top 10, because I do think that most drafts in the NFL showcase some premier talent at the top, and then a pretty steep drop off where players 15 through 45 aren't all that different in caliber. This draft saw a fair amount of 80+ overall players, the latest being C.T. Sherman to the Steelers. With quick development, he is a guard and a very good run blocker, already number 10. Duran Samuda is not yet healthy. I'll have to check when he'll be back, but we're going to sign Benji Ward in the meantime, as we do need the halfback depth. We're also going to see if there is room on this roster for Jason Lemon to stay on the Cardinals. Okay, Samuda is still going to miss much of the preseason, but he'll be healthy and ready to go for week 1. Oh my, a new injury here in the preseason. Ahmad Burns is going to miss the rest of it and be back for week 1. Alright, so I simmed through all 4 preseason games. Let's take a look at how we did this year. And Justin Olivia, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 3 touchdowns for J.W. Unger. Solid numbers here for the 2 quarterbacks on the roster. Running the football, it was a big opportunity for both Chantrell Bruce and Benji Ward. Ward had a much better yard per attempt, but still not what I'm looking for. But these 2 are both going to get carries behind Duran Samuda. In the air, this time Joey Spencer leads the way. Staley Moody does pretty well again. Orleans Bruton had 2 touchdowns. Young scored twice. Not much here for Gutierrez. And on defense, 25 tackles for Marquise Morse, the brand new linebacker, and he had 2 sacks. 4 for Curry Jasper, 3 for Santiago Masonette. Alright, the rookie making an early impact. We know we got to get him on the field somehow. It sure seems like when players have higher development, they perform better in the simulating. So that's something that I'll obviously want to keep with me as I continue doing series like this. And now we are on to week 1, a new season underway. We do have some trade offers here for Frank McFadden. I think these offers are mostly fair, and I'd like to get one of these 2nd round picks. So we'll deal Frank McFadden to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that will make room for the newcomer in the secondary, and Brayan Kaler will now be the slot corner. We do keep Rashawn Baker because of his higher zone coverage. McFadden was more well-rounded, but Baker was just really high in zone. I think like 92 compared to 85. And now we have a rookie starting at corner, a rookie starting at safety, and a team that's won 5 rings in a row. So that is about going to do it today, everybody. I know the series is winding down. Soon I'll be doing a long-term sim. I do think this next season will kind of be business as usual, though. I'll just come next episode and sim the entire thing, get us to the playoffs, hopefully. And then if we make it to another Super Bowl, then I guess we're going to have something to watch. But let me know what you think, everybody, and what you think of the long-term simulation idea. But that is all I have for today. Hope you enjoyed the off-season. It was a fun one. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel. I'll have a brand new rebuild franchise coming your way on Madden 20, and can't wait to get that one started. So I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.